A skunk did pass through the camp, my campsite anyway, and I could smell the skunk in the night. I was like, oh no. Good morning, campers. I'm just leaving past Mountain Hut, as you can see behind me there. As usual, I'm the last one out of camp. It's 8:30 on the dot. I don't know what my problem is. I just, I like to take my time and get everything just so. Use the privy, filter my water, have my breakfast, brush my teeth, clean up, repack everything, get everything all nice and neat. But freaking beautiful night, clear, dry. I didn't have to wipe down the condensation in the tent because there was none. It was cool but not cold. Very slight breeze here and there. Really perfect conditions. I wish every night was like that. I probably got a solid 5 hours of sleep, maybe even 6. By far the best night of sleep I've had so far on the trail. A skunk did pass through the camp, my campsite anyway. I was way off at the farthest campsite that there was, about a good 75 yards from the shelter or so. And I could smell the skunk in the night. I was like, oh no. Is he sniffing around my tent? But eventually the scent faded and he was gone, I guess. Today, headed to Gravel Springs. It's 13.1 miles, I believe. But it's a beautiful day, perfect. Good hiking weather. Hope it doesn't get too warm. And we'll see what the day has in store for me. So, here we go. With all these dead leaves on the trail, you'd think it's October. But no, it's April. These are dead leaves from last fall. Only been hiking for about an hour and a half. And a little sweaty. I had some water. My left knee is starting to complain a little bit. Not bad, just not happy. This is beginning to feel familiar to me. This reminds me of some of the section hiking we've done, my wife and I, on the Appalachian Trail, both here in Virginia and down Tennessee, North Carolina. We're kind of in this narrow trail. We got bushes and trees encroaching on both sides. I don't know why I'm dragging so much today. I don't know if my lack of sleep is catching up to me or what. My body's just rebelling. I just stopped at Elk Wallow Wayside. I had a beer. Bugs are out. A beer, hummus and pretzels, a bag of cheddar cheese combo pretzels, and a Gatorade. So I'm pretty well fed until I get to camp. So many of these tree stumps get this weird triceratops look to them. The pointy roots. I don't know why they erode that way. It's weird. I just keep seeing this over and over again. It's kind of cool, but it's just strange. I never see that back home. Strange pointy bases on these trees. I almost forgot. When I was at Elk Wallow Wayside, there was this couple with 4 little kids. They're being like little kids are. And I finished eating, threw out my trash, carried my pack over to the bathroom, left it outside the restroom, and came back outside, started putting my pack on. I turned around, the little girl, she's probably, 7, 8, something. She's like staring at me, smiling. So I just said hi. And then the mother came out of the bathroom, and the father came out with the kids, and I said, how many kids do you have? And he goes, 4. You want one? I'll take one with you, or something like that. I was like, no, I do not. But I pulled out my temporary tattoos, counted out 4 of them, and gave it to him. I said, I had these made up to hand out to the other thru hikers, but I know kids like stuff like this, so here you go. You can have them slap these temporary tattoos on, have a ball. So they were appreciative. And then the mother said, "Your kids want to know how someone could walk the whole Appalachian Trail." And I said, "I'm trying to figure that out too. When I find out, I'll let you know." I'm just going to try to pound out the next 2.5 hours or so. It's just about 2 o'clock. I figure I'd get to the camp between 4 and 5, just depending on my pace, what the terrain is like. I think it's mostly level or downhill or very slight uphill, so I could get there as early as 4, but probably more like 4:30. Okay, here's a burning question. What are these things? These pipes that are mounted on the inside rafter of some of the shelters. They have a slit on them. It's just a piece of pipe. You can see how big it is next to my hand. And it's on the inside rafter of the shelter. So here it is looking outside the shelter. If you look inside the rafter, many of the shelters, there's this pipe. And no one seems to know what they are, or what they're for. It's just a pipe, you know? I don't know. There must be some utilitarian use for it. Maybe for the trail maintainers, they use it for something. But in any event, very strange. Okay, so let me check Gut Hook, see where I am. I've been hiking for 2.5 hours, and I've got 13.1 miles to go today. So I want to be at least 4 miles in. So that means I want no more than 9.1 miles left. So let's see where I'm at. And the Gravel Springs hut is sweet 8 miles away. I've already covered a little over 5 miles in 2.5 hours. Wow. Wow, that's 2 miles an hour. I'm doing pretty good, especially with these uphills that I'm slow on. Oh man, I'm very happy. Wow, look at that tree. That looks like the head of a horse or an elk, caribou, a deer, something. Craziest trees out here in Virginia on the AT. That's really cool. That's something else. Okay, so this says Appalachian Trail north to the left, or straight ahead, where I was going. But I don't see a blaze across the street. Need a little blaze here. Let's go check it out. Make sure we don't get run over. These crazy people on the road are crazy. All right. Oh, here we go. I think that looks like a trail. Thanks for the blaze. Not. Sun's coming out. It's not hot yet. There's a nice steady breeze. But, you know, when you're exerting yourself and the sun comes out and it's not cold out, then you start to sweat. So we'll see how I do without my fleece on. I feel pretty good right now. So these little rock walls are designed to deflect erosion on steep sections of the trail. And if you look down the trail, you can see there's 2 more ahead. Little rock. Series of rocks going across the trail, so the water comes down off this hillside here and hits the trail, comes running down the trail because the trail is headed downhill, and then it hits these rocks and it gets channeled over the side down there, down that hillside, rather than continuing down the trail to further erode the trail. So that's what these are. When you see these little rows of rocks, they're kind of usually at an angle, and it's usually on a steep section of the trail. That's what they're doing. They're just deflecting rainwater that comes running down from the hillside and deflecting it from going down the trail, instead channeling it off to the side. Hey everybody, I stopped at the Elk Wallow Wayside for a little snack. I was hoping the grill would be open. They're not open until Memorial Day. These waysides suck when it comes to the grills being open. Complete bust all the way through Shenandoah. But in any event, I want to give a huge shout out to Courtney and Rich for buying me a beer, because I am treating myself right now to a Devil's Backbone 8-point American IPA. It's going to really hit the spot. So they actually bought me 4 beers. Holy cow. That's going to take me a while to work through those guys, but thank you so much for your generosity. I really appreciate it. Nothing hits a spot like a beer on a hot day when you've been hiking uphill, I'll tell you right now. It's going to go down like water. All right, thanks again very much. I really appreciate it. Back when Myron Avery was helping to blaze a lot of the trail, he would sometimes scrape the bark off a tree before applying the blaze. I don't know if this is an example of that, or if this is just a wound on the tree that they decided to put a blaze on, but it's kind of interesting to think that this could have been one of the early blazes that Myron Avery put on the tree after scraping off the bark. But I guess there's no way to know for sure. So, more bear activity in this area. It's about 3 o'clock, probably an hour and a half from the shelter. So I'm going to push on here, keep my eyes open. I'm not really worried about bears right now. There's a pipe. It goes right across the trail. Gotta wonder, what's that pipe for? Is it piping water from a spring up to a home? It's been a long day. I'm coming into the home stretch though. About the last mile and a half or so. A lot of ups and some steep downs. I'm not sure which is worse. You don't sweat on the downs, but tough on your feet and on your knees and your hips. So I just like nice flat, nice flat soft trails like this one.